Hi Nitros, I hope you're doing good, and today we're basically gonna review this awesome makeup of Bakugo Katsuki from My Hero Academia. If you follow me on social media, I asked you between Bakugo and Xiao and Tartaglia from Genshin Impact, and the majority voted for this Pomeranian boy. And let's get started right now. Okay, so as you can see, I already put my red lenses prior to start filming because it takes a bit of while still for me to get to put them correctly. So I will put in the description the references of those little lenses. So we're gonna start first with the base, and I'm only using the NYX Bear With Me primer. I feel like a beauty influencer when I use this type of product. Okay, next step is foundation. So I use the Sephora Best Skin Ever in shade 17.5N. So I'm gonna use also a beauty blender that I bought at Action, and yeah, I'm just gonna basically tap in and do my whole face with it. Before putting contouring and shit, I'm just gonna use my wig cap, so my tiny hairs in the front will not be seeable. So bye bye any type of glamour on this video. I'm gonna look like an egg. So now I'm gonna go with highlighting, concealer, bronzer, like everything casual. So for highlighting, I got the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in shade Pale, and because yes, one is not enough, the My Perfect color from Primark, which is moisturizing foundation and contour stick in shade Ivory. So basically, why do I have both? The pale one is super duper white, and this one is a bit less white, so I'm just gonna use it on spot area, or where my hair is growing, to cover up this type of area. And then I'm just gonna use the Can't Stop Won't Stop one on my under eye area. Put a bit here, a bit there, here, and there, and also on my nose bridge. Yep. I'm not putting too much on my forehead because well, it's not really necessary as we go with a character that has bangs. Okay, now that this is done, I'm gonna use, okay, I don't know where this come from, it's quite old, but I'm gonna use my stick for contouring, which is in shade Light. It's basically a quite of a cold one, and I'm gonna go in my forehead area, a bit on the side here, on the nose, with the undernose, and on the cheek, on the jawline, here, and on the cheek area. So I always start with a stick one, and then after powdering, if needed, I will go back again with a powder one. Okay, there we go. Now that this is done, we are going to set up. To set up, I got my Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. And I'm just gonna use like a fluffy brush. This one is like from Action, I think. It's like those ones. They are really good. Like for the price, the quality is amazing. And I'm gonna start by, before I forget, like I'm gonna deep press the foundation to remove like any shape I could give my forehead while talking, and then I powder it. I'm gonna redo the same everywhere. Everywhere like I could potentially crease, I will come with the beauty blender first. Now that the powder is done, we're gonna go in with the contouring, highlighting, but with powder. For bronzing, I'm gonna use like a fluffy angular brush. And I'm gonna use this disgusting state palette, the Beast Bronzing Powder Palette, which is like this. So I got one issue with this one, and it's like the color shade. Except like this one, which is the one that I do be using. All of them are like quite warm undertone. And a bit here too, like here. Once this is done, I'm gonna retake the big fluffy brush, and without adding powder, I'm just gonna reblend, especially over here. Another brush like this with like white powder, and I'm gonna use it for fake baking. What I mean is that I'm just gonna gently press some powder here, not as much as I would do if I was completely baking my face, but still. So now that the contour part is done on my face area, like the general one, we're gonna dab it with a tiny brush like this, a bit fluffy. Focus, it's whenever you wanna. And I'm just gonna go once again with the lightest shade and just do my nose one. So for the nose, I like to go in until around the middle area of my nose. I'm gonna blend this here. And then I'm just gonna do this tiptoe, like with kind of making like a V line that goes a bit up. Now we're gonna go with the most important part of makeup, highlighter. This palette is the Beast Highlighting Palette Highlight number 2. And I usually select I do select like the highlighter depending on the cosplay I will do. We're gonna mix these two because like the yellow one is a bit too yellowish for me. So I'm gonna mix it a bit with the white, which is kind of like a champagne one. So to make it pop, I'm using like a flat, fluffy but not too fluffy brush, like between flat and fluffy, and my spray, and I'm just gonna spray this like that. Take a bit of both, double check on my hand that it's not too much. So I dab into the yellow before dabbing into the white one, and then I'm just gonna go on my highlight point. So I'm gonna go here, here. As you can see, it pops quite a bit. And then I'm gonna go on the cheekbones, here, and on the other side. Okay, before going to the eye, I'm just gonna remove the excess over here. Okay, and now we're gonna like zoom into the eye part, which is the longest part for most of my cosplays. I zoomed in for eyes and I just like readjusted the light so you can see it clearly. We're gonna start with the brow. So to do my brows, I use a bunch of products. which are 2 brushes and 2 products. I use this brush and a tiny one like this. For the brow pomade, I use the Kat Von D one, which is like the brown, one of the darkest brown. Like it's not the black one. A Rimmel Brow Pro Micro, which is like this type, of pen. And I'm basically using this to like draw the shape. And like as it's a really light color, this one is like one of the lightest brown. So what I do is that I basically look straight like this into my mirror, and I'm just gonna like draw the shape. So if I do my daily ones, I will go straight. If I do an angry character like I would do for Bakugo, I'm just gonna get it slightly bit upwards. Okay, so I did the eyebrow shape. As you can see, they're not like perfectly symmetric ones, but we are aiming for brothers, not especially twins, but not cousins. That's how you should picture it. And now I'm just gonna use the tiny brush and the pomade, deep dive into it, and especially like focus on the end part of the brow. Okay, so as you can see, I went for a bit more broader, like bigger brows, because I felt it was a bit too thin for me. And I'm just gonna use this brush now to just like remove like what's really much excess. Now that this is done, we're gonna go into the eye makeup, and I'm gonna reuse the foundation stick I used from Primark. And I'm just gonna do it with my fingers. I'm just gonna dab some of the base on my eyes. If you have eye primer, you can go with it. I just don't. And then I'm gonna use like a brush quite flat to do my under brow part. So now that this is done, we're gonna go in with the eye makeup. So I'm gonna use the Rainbow Cosmetics palette, which is called Sunkiss Cosmic Eyes, which is this palette, which is basically a basic palette as fuck. So we're gonna start with a fluffy brush and like the lightest beige here, which is a tiny bit shimmery, but not too much. And it's gonna go on under our brow. And then we're gonna keep on using this palette, and we're gonna go with Constriction shade, which is for me this beige taupe color, still with the same brush. I'm gonna make it efficient over here, and we're gonna like start to create a shape. So to do that, we're just gonna put it here and just like blend it back in. Okay, once your eyes look like you almost didn't put any makeup, we're gonna go with a lighter brush. So I'm gonna use these two ones, like two in one. Okay, one size is fluffy and one size is flat. So yeah, I'm gonna use still this palette, and I'm gonna go with the deep brown here and the fluffy brush. So tap it, but be like gentle with it. And we're gonna redo the here and a tiny bit inside. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna dab it here to start to give like realistic dimension to your eyes. And we're gonna take some to put in our inner corner here. I'm gonna use like the flat part of the brush to do that, because it's for me easier to do it this way. And then we're gonna use the first brush to like reach and like connect the two parts together. It almost looks like I put everywhere, but you can see that in the center it's a bit lighter. Use the Martin Cosmetics, which is 𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀, which is like the one with the flame. As you can guess, it's, oh my god, a dirty palette. It's like a red skin palette. And I will be using a flat brush if I can find one. Yeah, I do find one. A flat brush like this, like basically a basic brush. And I'm gonna spray it a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And I'm gonna use this orange shade here, which is 𝙃𝙚𝙚𝙧𝙚. I'm gonna put it in the center of my eye here. Okay. One thing I did last time and I'm gonna redo it this time is that as much as I love this orange, I find it a bit too much compared to like the side. So from the same palette, I'm gonna use a shade 𝙃𝙚𝙚𝙧𝙚, which is a dark brown. And I'm just gonna come back here and just like use it as a mixing shade. So now I'm gonna go with another orange color, which is the one from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette, and it's like the shade D2, which is a matte bright orange. So I'm gonna dab in it, and I'm just gonna use it for my under eye, and then I'm gonna use my fingers to just smudge it. We don't especially want a perfect blending, we just want like a bit of a smudging effect. And then I will retake my brown and just do it here too. Okay, now that this is done, we're gonna go with the hardest part, according to me, of this makeup, which is the liner. So I'm gonna reuse the brow pen I had to like get the shape, and then I will use the 𝙃𝙚𝙚𝙚𝙀 from NYX in black to just like draw it correctly. So it's gonna be hard to explain, but what I'm gonna do is that I'm taking my mirror here, getting straight, like straight looking, and I'm gonna draw like the shape of my eye open here. It goes back here, and then it goes from the top here to there. You may not see that much on the camera, so you can just see like the tiny line, but like from close I do be seeing it, which is basically the most important. I'm just gonna do the same, and once this part is done, I just go with the Epic ink one, 𝙃𝙀𝙀𝙀, not Epic ink, and I'm just gonna redraw it. I'm gonna retake my mirror. I'm sorry in advance if you don't see a lot, but yes. And like for this area here, I'm just like drawing here until it connects to the big line, and then drawing like a triangle here. Makes kind of like a mountain or M shape, and then you just have to fill it. Okay, then you're gonna go with a black pen, and you're gonna go your inside here and apart. So I still am a child and I need to level up it. Now that this is done, I'm gonna retake 𝙉𝙤𝙯 palette, and I'm gonna use a tiny brush. So, okay, so the first one I took is this one, so I'm gonna go with this one, which is like a, you get it? A tiny angular brush. Focus, please. Okay, and I'm gonna go with like the deep red from the center. And I'm just gonna go my underline, like right underneath, to mix it with the orange we had smudged before. Okay, next step is eyelash color. So I'm just gonna go in and girl, you don't know how much I was scared of that shit when I started cosplay, because I was like, my god, this is gonna like just destroy me. Okay, I'm just gonna use mascara. The mascara I will be using is the bourgeois one, which is like the pink one. It's like for maximizing the volume of your lashes. Now that this is done, we're gonna go like for more details on the face. Now I will reuse this palette again and like the tiny brush I had with the orange. I'm just gonna mostly dip into the red part, and that's totally optional. I'm just gonna draw a tiny cross here. I will go back now to the highlighting palette, and with my finger I'm gonna dip into the gold one. I'm just gonna put it in the corner. So we're gonna work on this area now, like the tiny thing, and I'm gonna reuse the Norvina palette too. Okay, I'm gonna dab the orange in it, and I'm gonna go and add some orange on top. And we're now gonna go with the lips. I don't use lip pen. I know, very sad, I don't. But I got my own technique when it comes to cosplay. So I'm gonna retake this palette, and I'm gonna go with a flat roundy brush, and I'm gonna go with, not say bullshit, the second here, which is like a beige, but a bit between beige and taupe. And I'm just gonna draw my lip shade, my lip, like the place where I want my lips to be. And then I'm gonna take the same type of brush, but like a bit tinier, and I'm gonna go with the burgundy over here, which is like basically darker shade. And I'm just gonna do like some areas, like here, or like over here. Then I'm gonna use a nude matte lipstick. So this one is from Primark. It's the Vintage Rose matte lipstick. So it's a very pretty. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna apply it like this, and then I'm gonna use my fingers and then I'm gonna use a Crystal Culture Lip Elixir infused with vitamin E from Sunkiss, so which is the same brand as this, and this one is in shade, it's not written, the shade, and I'm just gonna apply it, especially in the center, because like as I personally got my piercings, I don't like to get stuff on it, so I'm applying it on the center, and then with a brush or like a Q-tip, whatever you have, I'm just gonna like pat a bit everywhere, and then I would just come back in the really center here and here, to add more depth. So yeah, here is the final makeup look. I do actually enjoy cosplay Bakugo a lot. So that's one of my makeup like that I mostly do when I cosplay, and it's like one of the cosplay that I can wear for hours without like being tired of it. So yeah, here is the final look with the wig on. I'm gonna zoom back on the eyes and face so you can see how it goes. I used to do Bakugo with like way more angry brows, but I think like with this wig and like long bangs, the straight but really dark brows fits amazingly well, and it fits my shape, like my face shape, way more than the old one I had. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If it's the case, please don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you subscribed to me yet? Give a huge hand up and like comment down below if you would like to redo this makeup, if you like the final result. And obviously I do plan to do Xiao and Tartaglia from Genshin Impact makeup as well, so tell me in the comment which one you would like me to do first. And don't forget to follow me on social media, because most of the polls and like everything related to everything when it comes to Nitro comes on Instagram and Discord. So go follow me on Instagram, like cosplay account or casual account, both are fine. You can also follow both if you wanna. And yeah, I'm also on TikTok and obviously on Discord. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'm telling you, see you next week.